Hello again. Today we're going to do the Sky and Fog tab, and I guess we'll just get right into it here. So first thing we've got here is the sky mode. So the default sky mode is simulated, and basically it does exactly what it sounds like. As you lower the altitude of the sun, it creates a sort of sunset effect. You can see the sky actually changes along with the sun changing. And you can change the horizon offset. If you set it really high, then it's like the horizon is lower in the sky. So when you do this, it doesn't do quite as much of a sunset effect around the sun. And if you set it lower, then it creates more of an effect as the sun goes down, like so. Next one we got solid color, very simple. Right now it's black. Black is going to also disable the skylight, of course. Once again, you can just set this to whatever you want, and the skylight will be the same color as the sky. Very simple, solid color, easy peasy. Next thing, color gradient. There's a few presets in here. You can mess around with your own. I can add a point here. Oopsies, here. I can pick the color for this point. Let's say it's blue here. So then when I look up there, well, I should be able to see. Hold on a second. This should make it more obvious. I don't actually know how the gradient is really displayed. There we go. So now it's got more of a darker color here. Okay. There's a few. These presets are probably more than you'll ever need. I mean, most people don't even bother with anything except for sky maps. Speaking of which, so make a sky map. You just gotta find a nice panoramic picture of a sky, and you need a panoramic. There's panoramic or spherical. So spherical is going to be like the center is pointed straight up at the like straight up at the sky, and it's going to be all around the center, whereas panoramic is going to be like a long rectangle. Panorama. So I have a sky maps folder somewhere in here. Sky maps. I'm sure it's in here. There it is. So you can just choose a sky map. I'll choose this one here. It's just going to load it up, and it does take a little time to load the sky maps up. Go ahead and reset the render. Alright, so here's our sky map. It's loaded now, and you can rotate the sky map. I'm going to try and line up the sun here with the sky map. Oops. Here, I'll move the sun. It's a good idea to try and line up the sun with the sun in a sky map. It just looks better, and we'll get a nice orange color going here to match that. You know, put on some. Oh, that's interesting. That fog is really, I got changed color to the fog, that's why. There we go. Something like that. And you can just turn down the fog blending if you really want to. There we go. Yeah, so if you turn up the fog blending, it's going to start covering up your sky map. That's one thing you gotta be careful of here. So I'm going to turn it down a little bit here. As long as you have like the same sort of general color as the sunlight for the fog, it should look pretty good. Okay. And I don't have any spherical sky maps, but like I said, it's just going to be a sky map where it's like square instead of like a big rectangle. And it's going to be pointing straight up at the sky, centered. It's just a different mapping. Then skybox. I'm just going to grab some random pictures. I don't even know. Here, I've got some wallpapers in here somewhere. So like, for example, I load that and now there's going to be a picture on the top because that's the up. And if I choose back as something else, it puts it over there. And once again, we can rotate this around, so it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about the directions or anything. You can rotate the skybox around. I'm not going to load all 6, but there you can load up to 6 different bits for the skybox. And then there's just black, and black is black, and it has no skylight. It's the same as just black on the what do you call it? Solid color. Same as just black with solid color mode. I don't even know why this is even actually an option, because it's redundant. But anyway, so we'll set it back to simulated now, and we'll so the transparent sky is going to keep the effects of the skylight, but it's going to make the sky transparent, of course. So it's as if the skylight is still there from whatever sky mode you've chosen, but then there's no sky. Next, clouds. Pretty simple. The default clouds are really big. You can make them bigger or smaller. Here, let me make them higher first. So here's some really small clouds. And I can make some really big clouds here. So I'll choose some of them. Around there, looks pretty good. And maybe we've got 150 or so. I don't know where the camera is. Yeah, that's pretty good. Then you can move the clouds around, the cloud pattern, using the X and Z settings. Moves them horizontally. Here, let me go ahead and turn this off so you'll be able to see. So this one slides it that way, which is east-west, and this one, Z, is north-south axis. Positive is north, and positive X is west. Fog density, pretty obvious. Right now it's at 0.01, set to 0. Now there's no fog. I'll set this back up to 1 so you can see the defaults. 0.05 is for a landscape type thing like this. This is a lot of fog. But if you are doing something more like, let's say I'm down in here or whatever. I'm sort of maybe I'm focusing on like this tree here. Then that's going to be not actually that much. You can see like a little bit of a ray coming through there, but it's so for basically for things that are closer to you, you're going to want to use more fog as the subject gets closer. Let's try and find a good spot here so I can show off the... Oh, that's actually pretty good right there. So that shows the crepuscular ray effect there coming through. So that's with 0.05, and you could do, if you want to set it like really high, 0.1, Get some even crazier rays going through there. And I mean, 1 is really, really thick. Like, I've never used that ever. That's ridiculous amounts of fog. I think for this sort of distance here, this sort of looks good with 0.1 here. Where maybe that's 30 or 40 blocks away from the camera is where these trees are. And then the fog blending here, we'll go ahead and reset the camera. What this is going to do is it just blends the fog up into the sky. So here you can see that there's like this, turn off the clouds. See how there's this sharp boundary between the land and the sky where the fog suddenly just stops. So if you turn this up, the fog starts blending up into the sky. It's very simple. It's a good effect. Make this less ridiculous here. With lower fog values, you don't need quite as much blending. And then fog color is pretty straightforward. Sort of a blue-ish color is a good natural color to use, or anything that's similar to the color of the sunlight. If you want like a swampy thing, you can do something sort of greenish like this. And I mean, pretty much every color has some sort of actual nice usage, except maybe like cyan or something might be kind of ridiculous. But yeah, there's plenty of stuff you can do. If you choose a darker fog color, it does in fact like it's like a thick, like overcast type, hazy, like almost smoky effect. If you choose it dark enough like this, here, let me make this bigger. So it's almost like smoke, like thick black smoke almost there. And that's just with a really dark blue color here. And that's it. That's the sky and fog tab. And I'll probably do water on the next video. That one's going to be a bit more complicated. And see y'all later.